Defiance rising. Commander Elena Reyes stood at the viewport of Orbital Station Artemis, her eyes fixed on the sleek warship docked below. The NSS Defiance gleamed under the harsh lights of the construction bay, its midnight blue hull absorbing, rather than reflecting the illumination. Unlike the ornate and ostentatious vessels of the Galactic Council races, the Defiance was built with purpose, every curve and angle designed for functionality rather than aesthetics. Magnificent, isn't she? The voice belonged to Dr. Sanjay Kapoor, chief engineer of the Defiance project. He joined Elena at the viewport, his weathered face reflecting pride and exhaustion in equal measure. 6 years of work. The Council would have a collective aneurysm if they knew what we've put inside her. Elena nodded, her expression remaining neutral despite the storm of emotions within. At 38, she had risen through Earth's United Defense Force ranks with remarkable speed, her tactical brilliance earning her both admirers and enemies. The thin scar running from her right temple to her jaw, a reminder of the Battle of Titan, only added to her intimidating presence. "They'll know soon enough," she replied. "Have the phase shift generators been properly shielded from Council scanners? As well as we can manage. They'll detect an energy signature, but they won't recognize what it is. To their sensors, it'll look like standard human propulsion, primitive and uninteresting." Elena allowed herself a small smile. Primitive. They'd been calling us that since first contact 20 years ago. First contact had not gone as humanity had imagined. There were no dramatic landings on the White House lawn, no grandiose speeches about galactic brotherhood. Instead, a Nevaran trading vessel, damaged and in need of repairs, had limped into the solar system and sent a distress call. Humanity had responded with characteristic hospitality, offering aid and resources. The gratitude had been short-lived. Once the Galactic Council, an alliance of 37 spacefaring civilizations, learned of humanity's existence, they quickly categorized Earth as a Class 3 developing world, subject to stringent technological restrictions and limited interstellar travel rights. Humanity was permitted to join the Council, but only as observers with no voting power. "Commander Reyes." The voice of Admiral Hassan came through her comm device. "Report to operations immediately." Operations was a flurry of activity when Elena arrived. Admiral Hassan stood at the central holotable, his face grim as he reviewed data streaming in from multiple sources. Around him, analysts and officers worked with quiet urgency. "We've received another distress signal," Hassan said without preamble as Elena approached. "The Talari colony on Proxima Centauri IV is under attack." Elena studied the holographic display. "The Void Swarm. All evidence points to it. This is the 4th colony hit in 3 months. The Void Swarm had emerged 6 months ago, entities of unknown origin that consumed everything in their path. They moved through space like a plague of locusts, leaving nothing behind but barren worlds stripped of all resources and life. The Council had classified information about them as Level 1 restricted, claiming the threat was being assessed and contained. "What's the Council's response?" Elena asked, though she already knew the answer. "The same as before," Hassan said bitterly. "They've designated Proxima Centauri as a containment zone and advised all Council vessels to avoid the sector. No rescue mission, no military response. And the colonists? 20,000 Talari. The Council has written them off as an acceptable loss to study the swarm's behavior patterns." Elena's jaw tightened. The Talari had been among the few Council races to treat humans as equals. Small in stature with iridescent skin that shifted colors with their emotions, they were renowned scientists and philosophers. They didn't deserve to be abandoned as laboratory specimens. "Sir," she said, her decision already made, "I request permission to take the Defiance on its maiden voyage to Proxima Centauri IV." Admiral Hassan's expression didn't change, but a spark of approval appeared in his eyes. "That would violate at least 6 Council directives, Commander. You would be risking Earth's already precarious standing with the Galactic Council." The Defiance is officially scheduled for system tests tomorrow. We could simply expand the test parameters. For a long moment, Hassan was silent, weighing the implications. Finally, he nodded. Prepare your crew. The Defiance launches in 6 hours. Your mission is officially to conduct comprehensive systems testing in the outer solar system. He paused. Unofficially, bring those people home, Commander, and show the Council what humanity is capable of. 5 hours later, Elena addressed the assembled crew in the Defiance's main hangar bay. 170 men and women stood at attention, the best Earth had to offer, handpicked for their skills and their discretion. I won't sugarcoat this, Elena said, her voice carrying clearly through the hangar. We're about to violate Council directives and potentially start a diplomatic incident. Anyone who wishes to remain behind can do so without prejudice. This mission is voluntary. Not a single person moved. The Council calls us primitive, she continued. They restrict our technology, limit our expansion, and treat us like children who need supervision. Today, we'll show them exactly what this primitive species can do. The Teleri helped us when others wouldn't. Now, we'll return the favor. A cheer erupted from the assembled crew, echoing through the hangar. Lieutenant Commander Marcus Chen, her second-in-command, approached as the crew dispersed to their stations. His normally cheerful face was serious. Engineering reports the phase shift drive is online and ready, he said. Weapons systems are at full capacity, and the adaptive shield generators have been calibrated. We're as ready as we'll ever be. And our special modifications. Chen's lips quirked upward. Dr. Kapoor says the quantum entanglement communicator is operational. We'll be able to transmit data back to Earth regardless of distance or Council monitoring. Good. We'll need it if things go sideways. Elena checked the time. Boarding in 30 minutes. Make sure everyone's ready. As Chen left to carry out her orders, Elena took a moment to center herself. The Defiance represented everything humanity had achieved in secret over the past decade. Technologies the Council thought were centuries beyond human capability. The phase shift drive alone would revolutionize space travel, allowing the ship to partially exist in another dimension while moving through normal space at unprecedented speeds. The Council had severely underestimated human determination and ingenuity. They were about to learn their mistake. The bridge of the Defiance was a marvel of efficiency. Unlike the sprawling command centers of Council ships, designed to showcase the grandeur of their civilizations, humanity had focused on functionality. Every station was positioned for optimal coordination, every system designed to work in harmony. All departments report ready, Commander, Chen announced as Elena took her seat in the command chair. Very well. Lieutenant Park, initiate departure sequence. Notify Artemis Control we're beginning our system tests. Aye, Commander. The Defiance detached from its docking clamps with barely a tremor, thrusters firing in precise sequence to guide the ship away from the station. Through the main viewport, Earth hung in the darkness, a blue marble suspended in the void. We're clear of Artemis, Commander. Course for Proxima Centauri. Not yet, Elena replied. Set course for the dark side of Jupiter. We'll transition to phase shift once we're out of direct observation. Course laid in. ETA to Jupiter, 2 hours at standard acceleration. Elena leaned back in her chair, projecting a calm she didn't entirely feel. The next few hours would determine not just the fate of the Talari colonists, but potentially humanity's place in the galaxy. 2 hours later, the massive form of Jupiter filled the view screen as the Defiance entered its shadow. We're clear of Council monitoring stations, Chen reported. Ready for phase shift. Elena nodded. All hands, secure for phase shift transition. Dr. Kapoor, initiate when ready. In the engine room, Sanjay Kapoor took a deep breath before entering the final command sequence. For years, he had worked to perfect this technology, reverse-engineered from fragments of Council science combined with human innovation. If it worked as designed, the Defiance would make the journey to Proxima Centauri not in months, but in hours. Phase shift drive engaging in 3, 2, 1. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then reality itself appeared to bend around the ship. The stars on the view screen stretched into lines of brilliant light, then faded to a shifting aurora of colors as the Defiance slipped partially out of normal spacetime. Phase shift successful. Kapoor's voice came through the comm, unable to hide his elation. All systems nominal. We'll reach Proxima Centauri in approximately 7 hours. A cheer erupted across the bridge, quickly hushed as the crew remembered their professionalism. Alina allowed herself a small smile. Well done, everyone. Now the real work begins. Tactical, run continuous simulations on void swarm encounters based on the data we have. Medical, prepare for possible Telleri casualties. Communications, monitor all frequencies for distress signals. As the crew set to their tasks with renewed purpose, Alina studied the tactical display showing their destination. The void swarm was unlike anything encountered before. Not a species in the conventional sense, but something more akin to a force of nature. Conventional weapons had proven ineffective against them. But the Defiance wasn't armed with conventional weapons. The quantum disruptors developed in secret Earth laboratories were designed to target the very fabric of reality, the perfect counter to entities that existed partially between dimensions. Lieutenant Chen, Alina said quietly, prepare a full tactical briefing for senior staff in 2 hours. I want everyone to understand exactly what we're facing. Yes, Commander. Chen hesitated. The Council cruiser Enlightened Harmony is stationed at the edge of the Proxima system. They're enforcing the quarantine. Then we'll have to deal with them too. Alina's expression hardened. I didn't come this far to be turned away by bureaucrats who value their data more than lives. As the Defiance hurtled through the phase shift corridor toward Proxima Centauri, Alina prepared herself for the battles ahead, against both the Void Swarm and the Council itself. Humanity had been dismissed for too long. It was time to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. Turning the tide, the Defiance emerged from phase shift at the edge of the Proxima Centauri system, reality reasserting itself as the ship transitioned back to normal space. The view screen immediately displayed a scene of devastation. The fourth planet, once a thriving Telleri colony, was surrounded by swirling, shadowy masses that pulsed with sickly green energy. Void swarm detected, Lieutenant Rogas at sensors announced, her voice tight. Multiple entities converging on the colony's main settlement. Telleri defensive measures have failed. Life signs, Alina asked, her eyes never leaving the screen. Approximately 8,000 Telleri life signs detected in the central shelter. Their shields are failing rapidly. Alina's jaw tightened. 12,000 already lost. And the Council ship. The Enlightened Harmony is holding position at the system's edge, Commander, Chen reported. They're observing but not engaging. Of course they're not, Alina muttered. Hail them. After a moment, the view screen shifted to show the bridge of the Council vessel. A tall, willowy figure with pale blue skin and elongated features regarded Alina with obvious disdain. This is High Observer Thelios of the Galactic Council vessel Enlightened Harmony, the alien said. Human vessel, you are in violation of Council quarantine protocols. Withdraw immediately or face sanctions. Alina stood, facing the screen directly. This is Commander Alina Reyes of the Earth Defense Force vessel NSS Defiance. We're here to evacuate the Telleri colonists. Your assistance would be appreciated. Thelios' expression shifted to one of incredulity. Evacuate? With what? Your primitive vessel would be consumed before it reached the atmosphere. This is a Council matter, human. The Void Swarm is being studied. Interference will not be tolerated. Those are people down there, not lab specimens, Alina replied, her voice hardening. If you won't help them, we will. Your species' emotional decisions continue to demonstrate why humans remain classified as developmentally immature, Thelios said dismissively. The Telleri situation, while regrettable, provides valuable data on swarm behavior. The Council has determined this is the optimal approach. Elena's patience evaporated. Lieutenant Park, end transmission. The screen returned to the view of the besieged planet. They're scanning us, Chen reported, attempting to analyze our capabilities. Let them look, Elena said. Tactical status of the quantum disruptors. Online and charged, Commander. Targeting systems calibrated. Elena took her seat again, leaning forward. All hands, battle stations. Lieutenant Park, plot a course directly to the colony's central shelter. Maximum thrust once we're in the atmosphere. Lieutenant Rodas, coordinate with engineering to modulate our shield frequencies based on swarm energy signatures. Commander, Chen said quietly, we've never tested the quantum disruptors against actual void swarm entities. The simulations were promising, but then this will be the final test. Elena interrupted. The Telari helped humanity when others wouldn't. I'm not leaving them to die. As the crew prepared for battle, Dr. Kapoor's voice came through the comm. Commander, I've made some final adjustments to the disruptors. Based on my analysis of the swarm's energy pattern, we should be able to disrupt their dimensional cohesion, but we'll need to get close, within 5 kilometers. Understood. Stand by for my signal. Elena addressed the bridge crew. You all knew this was a high-risk mission when you volunteered. Whatever happens next, know that Earth stands with you. Now let's show the Council what humanity is made of. The Defiance surged forward, accelerating toward the planet. On the tactical display, several void swarm entities altered course to intercept them. They've detected us, Rojas reported. 3 entities on intercept course. The enlightened harmony is hailing us again, Chen added. Ignore them, Elena ordered. Focus on the swarm. Tactical, target the lead entity with a 30% charge. Let's see how they react. The quantum disruptors hummed to life, the ship's power briefly dimming as energy channeled into the experimental weapons. A brilliant beam of blue-white energy lanced out from the Defiance, striking the approaching void entity. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, the shadowy mass convulsed, its structure becoming unstable as portions of it simply ceased to exist. Direct hit, Tactical reported. Entity destabilizing. It's breaking apart, Commander. The bridge crew watched in astonishment as the void entity collapsed in on itself, fragments of shadow dispersing into nothingness. The other entities are changing formation, Rojas called out. They're retreating from our approach vector. They can learn, Elena observed. Increase power to disruptors by another 20%. Continue on course to the colony. The Defiance plunged toward the planet, the hull vibrating as they hit the upper atmosphere. 2 more void entities moved to intercept them, more cautious now, but no less deadly. Firing solution locked, Tactical announced. Disruptors ready. Fire. 2 more beams lanced out, striking both entities simultaneously. The effect was even more dramatic than before. The void creatures seemed to fold in on themselves, their dimensional structure collapsing under the assault of human technology. On the secondary display, Elena could see the Council ship Enlightened Harmony moving closer, its sensors undoubtedly recording everything. Let them watch, she thought grimly. We're approaching the colony, Commander, Park announced. 5 minutes to landing zone. The main settlement came into view as they descended through the clouds, a once beautiful collection of crystalline structures, now partially consumed by the void swarm. Dark tendrils had wrapped around buildings, draining them of color and substance. At the center stood the emergency shelter, its shields flickering weakly under the constant assault. Status of the shelter, Elena demanded. Shield failure imminent, Chen replied. 2 minutes at most. Get us between the swarm and that shelter, Elena ordered. Deploy landing craft as soon as we're in position. I want those people evacuated yesterday. The Defiance banked sharply, positioning itself directly over the central shelter. Through the view screen, Elena could see hundreds of Telluri looking up in shock and hope as the human vessel appeared above them. Multiple swarm entities converging on our position, Rojas warned. They're abandoning other targets to focus on us. Good, Elena said. That's exactly what we want. Tactical, prepare for full-spectrum barrage. Target any entity approaching the shelter. The quantum disruptors fired repeatedly, carving paths through the void swarm as they approached. The adaptive shields pulsed as they repelled attacks, the ship's systems automatically adjusting to counter each new threat. Landing craft away, Chen reported as 6 shuttles detached from the Defiance's belly, descending rapidly toward the shelter. Estimated evacuation time, 40 minutes. We need to buy them that time, Elena said. Dr. Kapoor, how long can we maintain this level of disruptor fire? The emitters are heating up faster than anticipated. Kapoor's voice came through. 15 minutes at current output before we risk system failure. Elena's mind raced through options. Rear out power from non-essential systems. Reduce life support to minimum levels if necessary. A violent shudder ran through the ship as a void tendril made contact with their port side. Hull breach on deck C. Chen called out. Emergency force fields holding, but the swarm is adapting to our shield frequencies. Rotate frequencies on a randomized pattern, Elena commanded. Don't give them time to adjust. For the next 20 minutes, the Defiance held its position above the Telluri shelter, its disruptors firing continuously as the void swarm pressed its attack. The shuttles ferried survivors up to the ship, packed beyond capacity with terrified Telluri refugees. 70% of survivors evacuated, Chen reported. But the disruptors are failing, Commander. Output down to 40%. Elena gripped the arms of her command chair as another impact rocked the ship. Status of the Enlightened Harmony. Still observing from high orbit, Rojas replied, frustration evident in her voice. They're not responding to our requests for assistance. Commander, communications broke in. We're receiving a transmission from the Telluri settlement. It's their Elder Council. The view screen shifted to show 3 Telluri elders, their skin flickering between deep purple and pale blue, signs of distress and gratitude. Humans of Earth, the central figure spoke, her voice melodic despite the circumstances. You came when the Council abandoned us. The Telluri will remember this debt until the stars grow cold. We need to complete the evacuation, Elena replied. Our weapons are failing against the swarm. We understand, the elder said solemnly. But before your arrival, we prepared a final defense. Our scientists have developed a resonance wave calibrated to the swarm's frequency. It might buy you the time you need, but it will require the sacrifice of those who remain behind to activate it. Elena's expression hardened. That's not acceptable. We came to save everyone. Some choices transcend species, the elder replied. You have saved most of our people. Allow us to help save your ship and crew in return. Before Elena could protest further, the transmission ended. Moments later, a pulse of brilliant white energy erupted from the center of the settlement, expanding outward in concentric rings. Where it touched the void entities, they recoiled, their shadowy forms becoming rigid and brittle. The swarm is retreating from the pulse, Rojas exclaimed. They can't maintain cohesion within its field. Get the remaining shuttles back now, Elena ordered. Prepare for immediate departure once they're aboard. As the final shuttles docked, the tactical display showed the pulse beginning to fade. The void entities, sensing the weakening effect, began to converge once more. All shuttles secured, Chen reported. 6,842 Telluri evacuated. The Elder Council and 100 volunteers remained behind. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. Elena bowed her head briefly before straightening in her chair. Lieutenant Park, get us out of the atmosphere. Set course for Earth, maximum thrust. As the Defiance rose through the turbulent atmosphere, the view screen showed the pulse of energy below collapsing in on itself. The settlement vanished in a final flash of light, taking with it both the Talari volunteers and a significant portion of the Void Swarm. Once clear of the planet, the enlightened Harmony moved to intercept them, weapons powered. "They're ordering us to heave to and prepare for boarding," communications reported. High Observer Thelios is citing 17 Council violations. Alina's lips curved into a cold smile. "Activate the quantum entanglement communicator. Transmit all sensor and visual data from the entire encounter to Earth Command, along with a live feed of what happens next." She turned to the view screen, where Thelios's face had appeared once more. "Commander Rise, your actions today have violated numerous Council directives," the High Observer stated. "You will surrender your vessel for impoundment and return to Earth for sanctions." "I think not," Alina replied calmly. "You might want to check your long-range sensors, Observer. The data we just transmitted to Earth is being broadcast on all Council frequencies. Every member species now knows that you abandoned the Talari to their fate, while a primitive human vessel saved nearly 7,000 lives." Thelios's face paled to a lighter shade of blue. "You wouldn't dare." "I already have," Alina interrupted. "I also transmitted specifications on how the Void Swarm can be fought effectively. The technology we developed will be freely shared with any species that wishes to defend itself, with or without Council approval." She leaned forward. "You can fire on us if you wish, but I should warn you that our phase shift drive is powered up and ready. We'll be gone before your weapons can lock on, and the political fallout will destroy whatever's left of the Council's credibility." For a long moment, Thelios stared at her in silence, calculations clearly running behind his eyes. "The Council will not forget this, human," he finally said. "Good," Alina replied. "That's exactly what I'm counting on." Defiance out. The screen returned to a view of space as the enlightened Harmony powered down its weapons and moved aside. "Phase shift drive ready, Commander," Park reported. "Take us home, Lieutenant," Alina ordered softly. The Defiance slipped into phase shift, vanishing from normal space as it began its journey back to Earth. In the cargo bays below, thousands of Talari refugees huddled together, saved by the intervention of a species the Council had dismissed as primitive and emotional. 3 days later, the Defiance docked at Orbital Station Artemis to a hero's welcome. News of their mission had spread throughout Earth and beyond. The Council, faced with overwhelming evidence of their abandonment of the Talari, had gone into emergency session. Admiral Hassan met Alina as she disembarked. "Well done, Commander. The Council's in chaos. 3 member species have already demanded a review of humanity's status. And the Talari? Earth has officially granted them asylum. They'd been given an uninhabited continent in the Pacific for resettlement." Hassan's expression grew serious. "The Void Swarm is still out there, and the Council's response has been inadequate." "Then we'll need more ships like the Defiance," Alina replied, looking back at her vessel. "Already in progress. The President wants to see you. There's talk of establishing a new defense initiative, independent of Council restrictions." Alina nodded, her thoughts already turning to the challenges ahead. The galaxy had changed forever. Humanity had been dismissed, underestimated, and restricted, but they had proven themselves when it mattered most. As she walked through the station toward her meeting with the President, Alina passed a viewport overlooking Earth. The blue planet hung serenely in space, oblivious to the shifting galactic politics it had just catalyzed. The Galactic Council had trembled today, not because of humanity's weapons or technology, but because of something far more powerful: their unwavering determination to stand against injustice, regardless of the cost. The era of humanity being sidelined was over. The age of the Defiance had begun.